Well, hello again everybody. Now I know a few weeks ago we were having a look at this Hewlett-Packard 337-32A Telecom Datacom Analyzer. Now I don't know if you remember, we had a couple of problems with this. One of them is that it wouldn't retain any of the clock settings inside, and when we checked the lithium battery we found that it was completely flat. Well, I'm guessing that we're getting this memory failure simply because it's probably got a backup battery in it or rechargeable battery or something of that nature. And I'm guessing that that battery's probably failed inside 0.079 volts. So we've ordered another lithium battery from RS, and we're going to have a go at putting that in today. So this is our replacement lithium cell, and it does come with some instructions. A single lithium phenol chloride cell has an open circuit terminal voltage of 3.7 volts with a typical voltage of 3.5 to 3.6 volts. God, that was a bit of a tongue twister, wasn't it? A single lithium phenol chloride cell. Yeah. Now for this reason these cells must not be used as a direct replacement for any other battery system having a lower voltage, even though they may be dimensionally similar. Well, I guess they do, they just look like AA batteries, don't they? And in fact it says on them AA size. These batteries are very high energy systems containing a highly active material, and as such should be treated with respect. Oh sir, is looking fantastic today. Would it possibly be okay if we can trouble you by inserting you into this Hewlett-Packard analyzer? Wanker. Temperature. These batteries should not be used at temperatures in excess of 70 degrees, and for safety reasons never exposed to temperatures above 100 centigrade. That's quite good, it means we should have a go at burning the old one, I think. Electrical abuse. That conjures up a whole range of images. Lithium cells must not be connected in series with an electrical power source, which would increase the forward current through the cells. Where there is a possibility of a charging current flowing, it is essential that the circuit for these cells shall include a blocking diode and additional current limiting components. Let's just make sure we haven't got a duff one, 3.686 volts. Good enough. I think we'll just put this battery back in its bag for now to keep it relatively safe until we need it. Well, even though I bitched and complained about this electric screwdriver, I do seem to have used it quite a lot. Now, if I remember, this should just slide out now. Now I'm afraid I didn't manage to find any type of service manual for this online, so once again we're going in bareback. So it looks as though there's a main power supply board on top here, and I'm guessing we're going to have to take that off. So how do we get this out? It's actually a little bit of a puzzle, that. Now we've got some screws on the side here. Well, it looks as though we might have to take the whole of this side panel off. I'm just a bit hesitant though, because it looks as though I won't be able to get at a lot of these ribbon cables that are in here. But I'm guessing we'll just have to loosen them and well, give it a go. I've just noticed these screws are covered in the this blue liquid thread lock. They do seem to use this thread lock on this HP equipment. It is very well put together. But those screws, that screw that I've just taken out, it came out easily. So these have obviously been out previously, because normally you feel the thread lock kind of snap as you start turning the screw. But these were a bit loose, so somebody's obviously been in here before me. I'm not saying anything about sloppy seconds. Right, okay. Well, I was hoping I could just lift it off now, this top cover, but I don't think it will. it's being retained by something. So maybe this isn't the correct way to get into it. Now it seems to be being held by these ribbon connectors here. I think we might have to take these off. There's some, it's not going to be particularly easy to bring you in, but it looks as though I can't lift this cover off because there's some ribbon cables running down here. So it looks as though I've got to take this aluminium, well, there's a little backboard here with some what look like kind of 25-way D connectors on them. So I'm guessing we're going to have to release these D connectors, which is a little bit awkward. It looks as though you get these off by, I don't know what you call them, there's some kind of hollow nuts on the front. You know, like you have little nuts on the back of your computer on the old serial and parallel ports, and you used to undo them to, you used to be able to screw the connector into the back of the nut that was holding the connector in. I don't know what you call it. I've got a feeling that this might not be the best way to gain entry into this piece of equipment, but again, I haven't got the manual, so making up as we go along. So that'll push in there now. Okay, so it's a bit more loose. Bit awkward that. So we've got a fan connector here. Just polarised, but I'll put a mark on it anyway. And we've got another connector going to a board at the back. And again, I'm just going to put a little mark on that as well, if I can get the pen in. So I don't really claim to understand what this, how this piece of equipment actually works. I can see that just exposing this, we've got this top board here, which seems to be absolutely full of Xilinx FPGAs. Also got something living under a screen can here. Just looking to see if I can immediately spot any processors, which I can't. So I'm assuming that maybe this board, I was going to say this board is maybe associated with the input data to it, but yeah, no, I think possibly not. Yeah, don't know. I think I said that I was also just going to try some switch cleaner on here as well, and I think it was one of Simon's videos where he had a problem recently where it came down to reseating some ICs. I think it was Simon. Okay, I forget. Anyway, it could be that we might just try taking some of these ICs out and putting them back in again just to see if there's anything loose. Oh, and it looks like it's got a little bodge wire on there. So yeah, looks as though it was fairly well factory fitted, but yeah, we do have a bodge wire. Oh, we've got two bodge wires. We've got another bodge wire there as well. So I wonder what all that's about. Might be worth just putting the soldering iron over them if there's some bodgy wires going on. Well, it looks as though we're not there yet. I can see our lithium battery there that we're going to replace, but Let's move this to one side. So we've got quite a lot of IC goodness going on in here. Quite a few EEPROMs, old EEPROMs, quite a lot of EEPROMs. Don't recognise what most of these things are. I think there's a, would that be a 68,000 processor maybe there in that corner. So it looks as though this is the main processor board. Some kind of hybrid doing something down here. Couple of hybrids. So here's our lithium, but we're not there yet. So what we're going to have to do next is we're going to have to undo, I think, all these pillars, because it looks as though this this board is just held on by these long pillar screws here. So we'll remove all them next, and hopefully we can then take this board out, and we should be able to get at the underside of the PCB to solder in this new lithium battery then. Well, I apologise to everybody, I've just put this new lithium cell into the board, but unfortunately I didn't have the camera rolling, so you missed all the exciting bit of using the desoldering gun and watching me make a pig's ear of soldering it in and burning myself and all the good stuff. So I'm sorry about that. But what we're going to do now is we're just going to have a quick look at this video board, just because we can. So I think you'll be able to see there that we've got a whole kind of row of dead pixels. It's as though we're missing a segment of data, and I'm not sure what's caused that. As I said, I've been away and I've I've poked all the flat flexes, and the one cable that I disconnected before I have reconnected now, so I'm not sure what's causing that. I didn't drop the equipment, and I'm pretty sure I haven't done anything to damage anything, so I was a little bit alarmed, to say the least, that I had a perfectly good working piece of equipment until I took the cover off it, and then simply replacing the cover has caused this damage to the display. Now I've just brought you in a little bit closer. This is the screen board, and I actually suspect if we've got a fault it will actually be on this screen board, because the type of fault we've got looks like it's something wrong with the interlacing. Now I doubt that the microprocessor would probably get very excited about stuff like the interlacing. It's likely to be controlled by some form of onboard video control, I would have thought. So what I'm trying to say is I doubt the fault is actually on any other board but this one. I mean, I could be wrong, but I doubt it, because it looks like the only connection that between the actual the screen is on this ribbon cable here. I mean, we will try reseating some of these cables and looking for damage, but I can't see that being a problem. I would have thought that the problem is something gone wrong with this board here. But yeah, I mean, while we've got it all in bits, there's nothing to stop us having a quick look. But again, not having a manual, I don't really know what I'm poking about at. So it looks like they're giving us some warnings on here about which screws to undo, because it says undo highlighted screws, so we'll do that. Oops. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's not a highlighted screw, is it? So here's our lovely screen, which I can't quite get out because it's being held in by something. So I propose really not doing very much to this, because I don't really think I will be able to repair it. Now I would have thought that the fault is more likely to be on this board than any of the others, because it appears to be like some problem with just one portion of the video having an interlace problem. Now I'm fairly sure that what the microprocessor will do is it'll send, you know, kind of high level graphics information. It's going to tell it to like write the letter A or B or draw a line, but I doubt it'll get involved with, you know, that low level refreshing of the display. The display will do all that itself, because I can see there's quite a lot of chips here on the underside. You know, there's absolutely loads of ICs under there. So I suspect when we put this back together, you know, we're going to find no improvement, unfortunately. I suppose what we could maybe do in the future is we could make an extender cable so we can actually run this screen out of the enclosure, because that's the other problem with it. You know, you just can't get at anything on here. And I suspect that this might be some standard kind of off-the-shelf video disk drive. In fact, it's got a name on it. It looks like it's something like Lohja Corp, Lohja Corp, Lohja Corp. I think that's something Japanese. I don't know. So I can see, just looking at this, there's a huge amount of like video memory chips and stuff that are in here. I just think maybe I've been incredibly unlucky when I was playing with this, for it actually just to you know, fail the moment I was using it. Looks like there's two boards. It looks like the top board has got like a little transformer on it and a power supply. So I'm guessing it uses one of those, again I forget what the terminology is, but I'm going to say it's not compact fluorescent, is it? But it uses some form of high frequency drive to make the material behind the LCD glow. I think it says on it, it calls it an E-display, EL display. So again, is that a type of backlit LCD technology? I don't know. So yeah, there's two boards. So it looks like the very front board is what does the actual display driving, if you like, and then the back board on here is a power supply. And I can't actually see how the two boards are linked. I'm just looking inside it. I can't see how they do that. Oh right, okay. You won't be able to see it. There's like a blue connector in there. We must have some pins poking up through it. So again, I could try and disturb them and clean it, but I can see that this LCD display seems to have some flexible, I don't exactly know what you call it, but it looks as though the actual LCD is tethered to the, well, not tethered to it, but it's wired to the circuit board using some flat flex, kind of like ribbon cables, and I'm wondering if one of them could be loose or come adrift. But again, I'm suspecting, because we've got you know, like an inch wide row of defective pixels, I'm wondering if, you know, like one or two bad connections would actually cause that. I'm kind of thinking that these chips, whatever they are, maybe the video RAM or something, I'm kind of assuming that maybe there's one chip associated with an inch of display or something like that. I mean, I'm totally guessing, but you know, if one of them is bad, that could perhaps explain why we're getting a complete dead row. I don't know. I'm hoping that, again, somebody who knows a lot more about these types of displays, has worked with them in the past, might be able to advise me how they actually work. But I think if we decide to dig into this a little bit further, what we'll do is we'll make an extension cable that will plug into here, and then we can actually plug this display in while it's outside the equipment, because you can't get at it when it's actually fixed into the machine. You know, you can't get at it to probe anything. In fact, the whole thing is really pretty hard to work on. I'm guessing that when these are repaired in the factory, they probably take the boards out and either just swap the boards, or they, you know, they have some specialist jigs that they test the boards in. There's no way you can work on this machine with it assembled. I thought it might be worth just taking this apart, because maybe just pulling it apart and putting it back together. If it's just something loose, it might reseat it if I'm lucky. Doubt it, but you never know, we might get lucky. So I'm thinking this board now should separate. Oh, there's a big, looks like there's a screw there holding something together. Lots of spacers and things falling off. Come on, I think it's coming. Well, I'm guessing that this is where all the video loveliness takes place. Oh, actually, I was saying Japan, but it says made in Finland on it. Is there any more information? Made in Finland. It's got a, I'm just wondering where the part number is. Could that be the part number 320-256D1A? Lohja Corp. It's got another paper label on it there, which has got O2EQ05 2017. Now, none of the ICs on here are socketed, so it's certainly not any of them that are loose. But I don't think there'll be a lot of benefit for me going any further than this. I mean, I could go through it with a soldering iron and just try touching up joints and things like that. But yeah, I personally don't think I'm going to get there if it's a fault on this board. I just don't know enough about it, and I haven't got a circuit diagram, and I don't really know how to test this kind of thing. So I think I've probably reached my limit. So I'm guessing what I would like to know is, does everybody agree that the problem with the interlace is likely to be located on this board? Because what I'll probably then do is I'll just try and look for a parts donor for this unit and just replace the whole thing. So I think this is as far as I'm going to get with this now. I think all we can do is I can reassemble it and see if it explodes. Interesting, they've got a cooling fan on here, but it's actually not vented to anything as such. As I said, this instrument's very well sealed, so I've got no idea why, you know, they thought they needed to seal this instrument quite as well as they did. I've got no idea. So we've now got these other pesky cables to install. Oh, oh, you're an idiot, Chris. You're an idiot. Oh dear. Forgot about you, didn't I? Forgot about you, you little bugger. Oh. Oh, dear me. Well, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. Now, I remember when I was at school, I remember my English teacher telling me that basically only rich kids are dyslexic, and that I was just stupid. It's nice to be encouraged when you're at school, isn't it? You know, those teachers that really make a difference. Having said that, though, he was one of my favourite teachers who said that. probably did. This was in English language, or was it English Lit? I was in the Duns class for all those kinds of things. And I think what it basically was, I had no interest in, you know, English or, you know, history and geography. I couldn't care less. As long as I had things to play with and pull apart, you know, I always wanted to do practical things. Maybe there's an actual neck to this and I just don't know what it is. Or maybe it's just fiddle. I wonder how many bits I'll have left over at the end. That's always an example of a good repair, isn't it? You know, when I used to repair clocks and things, you know, we've all pulled clocks apart. And you always seem to end up with an absolute load of parts and you've got no idea where they came from. And sometimes you did know where they came from, but it doesn't really help you, does it? Because you can't get them back in. You know, I wonder if some of these are different thread styles. Some of these, is that any different? Yeah, that's wonderful. Seems to be like a different, just to keep you on your toes, there seems to be a difference of imperial and metric threads, or coarse and fine threads. Because it's like those, like I said earlier, those connectors on the back of computers that, you know, nothing fits them. I don't know if I'll be able to show you that, but they are different. Come on, focus. There's some of these threads are fine threads and some of them are coarse, and of course I've got them the wrong way around. Okay, time to switch it on, and of course it's about 50-50 whether or not this is going to explode. That's about my hit rate, things just going bang when I switch them on. Okay, so it's got the time and date set at the moment. So if we exit this menu, which I assume we have to do, how do we exit the menu? I don't know. Just press another button. So if we turn it off now, it's definitely going to store the date and time, isn't it? So let's see if it's got the date and time this time. Ah, right, okay. The RAM fail message is gone. So has it retained the time? Do we do that from settings? Can't remember. You get to this menu, more. We'll try other, stored settings, or date and time. Yes, okay. So we've fixed one fault. Changing the memory backup battery did actually make it retain the time and date. So we did fix the original problem, but we still haven't fixed the problem with the display. So I think what I will do next is, one, I'm going to look for a parts machine cheap on eBay that I can maybe get another display out of. But I think maybe the other thing to do is we will try and strip the machine down again, but we'll make an extension ribbon cable so we can run the display while it's out of the machine, and then I could maybe prod and press things. And again, if you guys can give me some help and advice on this EL display, at least maybe you'll be able to give me some advice if I'm in the ballpark and I'm completely barking up the wrong tree. That'd be really helpful. But I think for today, that'll do. As always, thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon. Bye bye for now.